Oh man, that's a tough one today. I had a late one last night, and I've literally just woken up to the fact that Gil Gerard, the actor most famous for playing Buck Rogers in the 25th century, passed away at the age of 82. He'd done other things. He'd done soaps and dramas and movies and stuff, but I confess to have probably not seen any of them. The only thing I did see him in was a pilot for a Buck Rogers reboot with a young man playing Buck Rogers, and as a cameo they used Gil Gerard and Erin Gray, who played Wilma, as his parents back at home on Earth. At that time, Gil Gerard had been struggling with weight. He became almost unrecognizable. He was a very large chap at the time, but it all began to drop off him or whatever. And, I know he had weight loss help and everything. And he, in his later years, he did look a bit more like the Buck Rogers we knew and loved. What I liked about Gil Gerard was the way he played Buck Rogers, and it seemed to be very close to how he was in real life. He was a blend of Captain Kirk, Han Solo, and who else was I thinking of? Kirk, Han Solo, and it'll come to me. But basically, he was tough without being a thug. He was charming with the ladies, etc., without being sleazy. And he was emotional without being weak. He could play loss and sadness. He could even play anger, but he was never sort of, he was masculine without being toxic with it. He was, I remember as a kid watching the TV show. And before that, Buck Rogers was played in the black and white theatrical era by Larry Buster Crabbe, who before that also played Flash Gordon. He's the Flash Gordon most people will remember, most people of a certain age. But Larry Crabbe also played Buck Rogers in the 25th century in the black and white newsreel type serials. He also made a cameo, Larry Crabbe, as sort of Captain Gordon in Buck Rogers in the 25th century as a pilot. And there was a nice little exchange when his character Gordon took out some bad guys, and Buck said, "Good shooting, soldier. What's your name?" He said, "Gordon, sir." And he's like, wow. But, when Gil Gerard was playing Buck Rogers as a kid, I remember thinking, oh, this guy's kind of solidified the look, So it's like if you were to cast a Luke Skywalker, you'd still look for a kind of light brown haired guy, or Han Solo, you'd look for a Harrison Ford type. They've kind of solidified the look of that character, and Gil Gerard for me was Buck Rogers. And 82, not a bad innings, especially given his health problems and stuff. I never met him. I wish I had. But he was a nice blend. I mean, there are undoubtedly going to be surfacing clips from the show of him disco dancing and singing or acting a little bit kind of sleazy to the women. But at the time, it was perfectly normal. I know at the time is not really an excuse, but I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think he did anything unsavory or creepy in that. I mean, if you want to start pulling people apart, you can grab any actor and say, look what they did back in the day, But, Felix Silla, who played Tweaky, went a good few years ago. Thankfully, Erin Gray is still with us. But yeah, this is a sad one. We've just been celebrating Dick Van Dyke turning 100 a couple of days ago, and Gil Gerard didn't get it, but he's still immortalized in my mind as a fantastic Buck Rogers. And although the show has dated quite a bit, the second season is arguably really bad because they changed the format and everything. Too much interference. But the first season was good, but dated. I'll watch a couple of episodes in his honor today, I think. And nothing to say really, except for So long, Buck, as Tweaky used to say. What a guy.